Ready when you are, Andre. We're now in Group B in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup from Czechia. It's Mexico taking on China for the first time since the 2016 U17 group play. So it's been 10 years since these two teams have gone at it. And I think it's time for a battle between these two teams who are embarking in their fifth trip to the U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. This is Aaron Sanders. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. Hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. And this is only day one. And so far, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, USA have been the victors. Australia, of course, having two players setting a nation record of 7 steals each. USA dominating 2 with their collection of 32 steals. And this is the first contest in Group B competition. You will see Germany and Spain take on each other very soon. But right now, on this floor, it will be China and Mexico. China came into the U17's 18th in the world rankings, and they ended up losing the bronze medal game in the U16 Asia Cup. They lost that to Japan, but placing fourth was good enough to give them their 5th trip to the U17s. And it's been 8 years since they last played in the U17s, where they placed 11th. Their best finish outside of medals has been 4th place back 10 years ago. And they won the bronze medal in the first ever U17 Women's World Cup back in 2010. Mexico still looking for their first medal in U17 play. They won the bronze in the U16 AmeriCup last year, and that was their 2nd medal in team history in AmeriCup play. And they did it in dominating fashion. They were 3rd in points per game at 65, and the field goal range they shot 37%, and they were 3rd in rebounds too, averaging 48. They're going to be led by a team effort, but the player that led them along the way for Mexico in the U16 AmeriCup was Aislinn Tamez, who averaged close to 8 points per game. This is the 5th appearance between both of these teams. China only has 4 players coming back from the Asia Cup last year. Meanwhile, for Mexico, they have 9 players coming from the AmeriCup. They're being introduced right now. It's been 10 years since China and Mexico met in U17 play, and in that group play back in 2016, China won it 82-43. Safe to say a lot has changed over the last 10 years. By the way, you have at least 2 more minutes to use the game prediction to make your predictions and the average margin of victory into this game, because right now 95% of you says that China will come out as the victors. So get your votes in as soon as you can. You have an opportunity to win a FIBA U17 Women's World Cup basketball along with Nike gift cards. So the clock is ticking. You have less than 2 minutes to do that. And for those of you tuning in on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our membership program. From rookie, MVP, starters, we have all of that for you. Now let's step aside for the national anthems for both teams, and when we return from that, I'll give you the starting lineups for both teams along with today's officials. You're watching the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. There is one game live right now, and it's a close one between Slovenia and Czechia. Slovenia leading against the host nation 55-51. Make that 58-51 with under a minute to go in the ball game. And then in more than 30 minutes, Germany and Spain will wrap the first day off in Group B play. Saw Japan defeat Colombia recently 70-48. Canada defeating Italy 69-54. New Zealand over Egypt. USA defeating the Ivory Coast in historic fashion. And Australia over Latvia. Your officials today from France, Edgar Cesarelli. From Latvia, Elvis Binder-Skoders. And from Kazakhstan, Alexei Stampeneko. Cesarelli, Binder-Skoders, and Stampeneko, the officials for this Group B contest. China and Mexico in their 5th trip to the U17s, which has been going on in its current format since 2010. And that's the last time we've seen China make the podium with their bronze finish. We have 4 players coming from the U16 Asia Cup team that plays 4th. The experience is there. And in the Game Predictor app, 94% of you said that China would pull off the victory. And we thank you for participating in that. And, of course, let us know where you're tuning in from, and we'll give you a shout-out. So, a big hola and ni hao to those of you tuning in, watching China and Mexico play. For those of you tuning in around the world, we thank you for tuning in as well. Tip-off is just moments away. Head coach is Yang Liu for China. And Mexico is led by Juan Lopez as their head coach. China's starting 5 has Won Sun, Manjale Wu, Yu Jia, Hang Young Sun, Yun Shun Pong. Technically, there are two centers in the starting five for China. Mexico will start with Mariana Diaz, Jimenez Velasquez, Aislinn Tamez, Yania Valverde, and Marisol Gonzalez. Yania Valverde, who turned 17 on Monday, was part of the U16 AmeriCup team. She scored more than 10 points in 3 games in that tournament while averaging 8 a game and 4.5 points per game. It is showtime in Group B. Spain and Germany will tip off in 30 minutes time. Slovenia and Czechia wrapping up their game. It looks like Slovenia will pull away with the victory. And China wins the opening draw. Here is Sun. It doesn't go. Quick fight for the ball immediately. Doesn't go for Wu. China not allowing Mexico to set up around the basket. Their first stop. Here is Aislinn Tamez, who puts one up and misfires. Rebound pulled down by Jia. Jia gets it back and draws around the wing. Sun, part of the U16 Asia Cup team, gets the scoring to start from downtown. Mexico responding. Here is Diaz. Can't go anywhere with it. Plays it back to Tamez. Tamez spins around and puts it in. Fast start for both of these teams, with China leading 3-2. Here's Pong, out to Sun. Hang Young Sun going all the way and can't get it to go. Velasquez, great ball movement. And it is Mexico ball. Mexico's not giving China any room to breathe off of the fast break. Start this off. Mexico, in last year's AmeriCup, third in points per game at 65 and in rebounds at 48 of them per contest. Here's a catch and shoot, and it doesn't go. The rebound almost picked up by Valverde, but instead, Hang Young Sung gets it. Lucia looking for Pong, and she was stopped by Diaz. Diaz comes up with the first foul of the game. Wu, the power forward, to play it in. And it's immediately snatched in the air by Diaz. So she redeems herself after picking the first foul of the game. Velasquez out to Gomez. And Thomas will take a three. No. Young Sung called for the foul. And we have a final in the Slovenia and Czechia game, and we welcome those of you who tuned in to watch Slovenia beat Czechia 63-55. I'm Aaron Sanders on the call for Mexico versus China. A fast start between these two teams so far. Tamez back to Velasquez. Velasquez covered by Sun. No pick from Valverde, which means Velasquez takes it in herself and misses. And Velasquez with the aggression foul on Jia. So the foul's beginning to pick up. While we played more than 2 minutes in this Group B game between China and Mexico. Here's Wu. He passes it to Sun. Xuan Lu to Hang-Yun Sun. No. Valverde couldn't control the ball, so she plays it back to Velasquez. Velasquez getting in deep. And now it's Diaz to Thomas. Thomas with 8 to shoot. She drives, fires, and misses. Rebound picked up by Pong, and it's another Mexico foul. And Velasquez heads to the bench and is replaced by Isamar Rumbo. Rumbo, one of 8 players as part of that bronze medal Mexico team in the AmeriCup last year. We're under the 7-minute mark in the opening quarter. And Hang-Yun Sun gets it down to make it 5-2. There was no scoring within the last couple of minutes, and China breaks the spell. Thomas feeds it to Valverde, who sends it down to Diaz, who scoops one up and misses. Back comes China, and Sun on the run. No. And 2 shots are coming up for China. Aslyn Thomas picking up the foul. And Aslyn smothering Hang-Yun Sun on the way down to the basket. Sun misses the first. China has only won 1 medal in U17 competition, and that was the first one back in 2010. Since then, the closest they've been to the podium was back in 2016, where they lost the bronze medal game. Here's the layup, it's no good for Pong. And 2 more shots are on the way for China, as they weren't able to capitalize on the first 2. It's the hands from Thomas off of the rebound over Pong that got her another foul. The free throws continue to fall flat for China. Youngshu Pong, one of the 4 centers in this roster for China. Scoreboard at the moment says 5-2 in favor of China. Pressure applied by them, and Gomez bails them out. Rumbo and Mexico being very vocal on this trip down. Half-court set, 5 on the shot clock. Valverde tried to set a screen, and now it's Diaz who has to let it fly, and it hits the front of the iron. And it will stay with China. Both of these teams shooting below 30% to start things off. Wu over the shoulder to Sun as that goes awry. So the correct score is 6-2. And they're double checking scoreboard right here. Nonetheless, Mexico has only scored one field goal to start things off. Nice pick from Gomez, which leaves Valverde open. She drives, she fires, she doesn't score. And Pong immediately gives it away. And now here is Yu Jia. She misses from outside. Michael Soroti will have the call between Germany and Spain, which starts in exactly 20 minutes from now. Ismar Rumbo gets it again from Gomez. Rumbo locates Diaz. And Rumbo has it again. She retreats to the right side, thought about the shot. Now there's 3 on the shot clock. Gomez spins around, flings one up, and it falls flat. And back comes Sun and Team China. Pong, top of the key, goes in for 2, and will get it the old-fashioned way. Mexico having a hard time containing China. And when you have 4 centers in your roster, that gives you a disadvantage near the bucket, and substitutions are coming. Currently, it is 6-2 in favor of China. Having some problems with our scoreboard, but we'll fix that. It's 7-2 now. China started off cold at the foul line, and hopefully they go 2 for 2. They might find their stride. Yunshu Pong, one of the 4 centers, goes 2 for 2. 7-2 in favor of China, down to 4:33 remaining in the first quarter. Mexico will have the ball when we return.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
That corner pocket and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay it as well. Players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
Rebound, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing.
Quick programming note on the FIBA YouTube channel. The game between Spain and Germany has been delayed for a few minutes. So instead of a 2:15 start on the Eastern time zone, it will now be 2:20. So stick around for not only that game, but stick around for this one too. China is ahead 7-2. We apologize for the technical difficulties with our scoreboard, but looking at the live stats right now, it is 8-2 in favor of China. Here's Ismar Rumbo locating Samantha Patino, who has checked in from the timeout. Tama is looking to establish position. Did not need it at all as Mexico capitalizes on a triple from Yania Valverde. Again, bear with us, having some technical difficulties, but they will be fixed, I promise you that. Woo, spoon feeds Pong for the teardrop. Thomas off the Diaz, who fakes it and gets close around near the wing. The 3 ball doesn't connect for Valverde, and it's poked out and picked up again by Hangyun Sun. 3:34 to go. China with the lead. Wang Sun dribbling it right down to the right side, passes up to Wu. Wu gets it back over to Sun, who pulls up for 3. That's off the mark, and it's scooped up, and Mexico's got a 2-on-1 opportunity if they need it. Diaz with the Euro step and gets contact. The 2-man game, and Mariana Diaz decided to take it in herself for 2 shots. You're going to say it was on the act of shooting, and Mariana Diaz had 7.3 points per game in the U16 America. And in the group opener against Panama, she connected on 20 of those points. And she connects on the first free throw. Mexico slowly but surely getting back into this contest. We have 3:18 to play in the first. And Diaz doubles down. We'll get you updated on the score. It is now 10-6 in favor of China. Ball goes to Sun. Sun locates Lee for 3. Shot's too strong, but it's secured by Pong. And it's back to Sun, who will try another one and gets it down. Perseverance pays off nearly every time. Thomas on the chest pass to Diaz, who locates Valverde, who cashes in on a 3 as well. Actually, that's Rumbo on the 3. Upstairs, Lee, no. And here is Thomas, who brings it up the floor. Thomas drives and got it. Huge scoring run for Mexico right now. They were down a handful to start things off, but now they get into a scoring run. They're in the groove, and now they're down by a bucket. 13-11, that is the score. China will have the ball after their timeout. While China has the lead right now, it's Mexico that's been on a scoring run to the last minute and change. It is 13-11 in favor of China. Both of these teams embarking in their 5th trip in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. A big hello to Jason Oviedo from the Philippines, watching late into the night. It's 2 a.m. in the Philippines. The bucket is good for Pong. And he's watched the men's U17 World Cup a week ago, and he said nothing but the highest praises for the commentators, including yours truly. So, Jason, thank you for tuning in, but promise me you'll go straight to bed after this game. Catch and shoot, Diaz, too strong off the left side, and it's poked out of bounds, and it stays with Mexico. They could go for the tie or lead here. Coco from Kingsville saying it's a bummer that the score bug is on the fritz right now, but we're working on it. I'll keep you updated. one way or another. Nice steal from Yongshu Peng, who leads the charge for China. Out of the corner and back out is Lee. Lee from long distance, put her there. She says ni hao from downtown. That's one way to expand the lead. But Mexico has some decent ball movement with 70 seconds to play. Diaz. Nice pick from Valverde, but it looks like a bit too much muscle onto that. It's China ball with around a minute to go. They lead 18-11 against Mexico. It's back to a 3-score game. However, Mexico has been heating up in the last 2 minutes. Juan Sun playing it up the right side and gets it back. Lee with real estate on the left side, dumps it down underneath. Layup is no good for Hung-Yun Sung. Loose ball picked up by China. They get another chance, and 14 seconds on the shot clock. They draw the foul in the process. Zamarumbo is called for the foul. China looking to expand after having a rough time at the foul line in their first 2 trips. They have been golden ever since. Here comes the second. That bounces off. Rebound, Thomas. Thomas tight roping the baseline and gets another foul. Jay Wu, power forward, picks up a foul. Clock running low. Down to 22 in the game clock, 13 on the shot clock. And the pull-up triple bounces everywhere but down the hatch for Rumbo. It's heartbreak city for her. Tong gets it to Fong. Down to 4. 2 to go. Lee, long range, and they won't count it. That will do it for the end of the first. But they're saying to stay on the floor. Will they put time back on the clock? They just might, because the ball did ricochet everywhere and did hit the backboard, which would have blown the play dead. If that's the case, that means Mexico will inbound it from the sideline. Nope, they're going to get it from the baseline with 1.4 to play. 19-11, that is the score. China ahead of Mexico in the first Group B game taking place. And a quick flaying will wrap up the first quarter. 19-11 in favor of China. Second quarter is coming up next. Welcome back. They usually say basketball relies on a game of runs, and that's what we saw in the first 10 minutes of action between China and Mexico. We're having problems with our score bug right now, so please bear with us. China is ahead 19-11 over Mexico. I'm Aaron Sanders, leading you through the way for this one. And for those of you wondering if Germany and Spain will get underway, they are now live, and Michael Cerroti will have the call for that game once it gets underway. But right here, it's been a good one so far. China holding on to the lead since the start, as they're being led by Youngshu Peng, who has 7 points and 5 rebounds already. And that 7 of 5 comes into nearly 9 minutes of play. So she is on the double-double radar. Aislinn Thomas with 4 points and 2 rebounds from Mexico. Mexico shooting 25% from the field. China is shooting 35, and China throws it away, which means Mexico will get their first look in the second. Earlier on this court, we saw Japan take care of business against Colombia in convincing fashion. And this will be the last game on this court in day one. Day two will have a plethora of games on the schedule for sure. Just check the website for more information. Olade has checked in. Nice spinning move, which doesn't go for Thomas, and it stays with Mexico. They have been getting a lot of second chance opportunities off the way they have positioned themselves for it. It's going to be Jimena Velasquez to toss it in. She checked in for Isamar Rumbo. And it's up to Olade, who misses at the line. Sun gets the rebound and breaks the double team immediately. Gets it back from Fawn. And Lee swings it back upstairs. Now Fong will have a go at it. Rebound Mexico. 94-50 was Velasquez, but could not finish. Sun surrounded by 3 white jerseys, and she finds Fong, who misses from downtown. Thomas hits the floor before throwing the ball right to Velasquez. She'll try again, and this time she is met at the rim by Sung, who blocks it away. On Sung on the block. Velasquez looking. Still looking. Oh, we may have a working scoreboard. They might have fixed the situation here. There's the time. There's your score. In day one of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. There's Samantha Patino checked in once again. Played a minute in the first quarter. Jae Woo committed the foul. And Han-Yun Sung returns for Ying Feng. Velasquez circling through, gets it out to Patino, who can't cash it on the 3. Ball is poked, and it's retained by China, who loses it over, and now it's Diaz who will try a 3. That one doesn't go either. Mexico making opportunities by putting the trap on in an instant. This one Sung. The lineup for China, she's picked up 3 points but 2 fouls to her name. So far, she's a +8 on the floor, the highest rate for China right now, and for that matter, the game. Sun having difficulty. Wu back to Lee, and doesn't hit iron on the triple. And back comes Velasquez on the run. She puts the Jets on and scores. Going coast to coast off of that one to make it 19-13. That is the first field goal in the second quarter. They went a minute and 51 seconds without a bucket to start things off. And China's got a lot of running room as the drive in by Wu is led with a foul. First, the stutter step from Wu, and she took on Patino, who puts her hand up immediately. 2 shots on the way for Monje Wu. Monje Wu gets her first point. China has 4 players that have returned from last year's U16 Asia Cup. That is Yuan Sun, Yangshan Lee, Hang Young Sun, and Yatong Tong, who has yet to get some time on the floor in the Group B opener. China ahead by 8. Patina puts the ball on the floor and chucks one up, and the rebound's pulled down by Pong. There's a chest pass down to Sun. Overhead pass. Now Wu has a turn. She is met by Patino. She blows by her, tries to spoon feed Pong, and it's outside of Lee, who misses on the right side. Velasquez leading the charge now for Team Mexico. They are behind by 8. Thomas goes deep and throws it to Pong, who gets it back in return. Here's a chest pass. Wide open look for Velasquez. No. Patino could not control it. She was met at the rim by Yongshu Pong. And China barely beats the 8-second count as Lee spins, fires, and scores. The ball had the mind of its own, but it was right down the netting. China now has their largest lead of the game. Set shot open, and it's down. That's Ivana Olade connecting on her field goal. Lee has sung if she needs it. Instead, she goes right to the corner for Wu, who's having trouble. She plays it to Pong, who goes off the backboard. Shot clock continues to roll on, and Olade continuing to be a force. And same with Velasquez, who goes coast to coast and is rejected by Lee. Sun trying to regain momentum for China. She does this time, and she'll go to the line. With Sun being the only one near the rim. She was out of options and was met by Patino, who heads to the bench with 2 personal fouls. Young Sun at the line, 5 points and 4 rebounds so far, has missed her first 2 at the line. She drains the first one to make it 24-15. The Game Predictor app, a handful of you selected China to win the game. Both teams in their 5th trip in the U17s. Both free throws are good for Han-Yun Sun. She picked up 10 points per game in the Asia Cup a year ago for U16 competition. Diaz surveys the floor and can't go anywhere. Velasquez pulls up and can't drain it. Another possession for Mexico is coming up with 5:33 remaining until the half. Foul count very low. Mexico with 2, China with only 1 team foul. Holiday asked for the ball. They have to go upstairs now. And it works out perfectly for them with Diaz missing the triple. Sun got the rebound and takes it in herself. And Lee gets out of the key and gets Sun instead. She hits. China using patience on the half-court set to capitalize. We played 5 minutes in the second quarter. Jimenez Velasquez left wide open. Velasquez has been the heart and soul for Mexico early on in this one. Yaton Tong stepped on the line. Great pressure committed by Olade. There's a crossover from Velasquez. She's stopped in her tracks. Maricel Gomez back into the lineup, one of the starting 5. Velasquez has it. She looks at the clock. She has 9 to shoot. Thought about it. Flings it over. 3 ball. No good. And it's zeroed in by Sun, who keeps it in bounds. Here's a wide look. And the finish is good. China picking up a couple of points after the last couple of possessions. They are now at the 30-point mark. They lead Mexico 30-17, and Mexico will have the ball after their timeout.
Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
Go tax to close out. Beat Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
China has been taking over this game since the opening tap. And even though they're outscoring Mexico in this game, it's only a difference of 2 in the second quarter, scoring 6-4 for China. Mexico, they were keeping right at this game until China used clean ball movement and patience to fluster Mexico on the defensive end. Jimenez Velasquez could be the one to help Mexico pull through and get back into this one. Ivana Olade has been efficient since she came on the floor to start the second quarter. Will she get more touches? Velasquez is left wide open. There's one on the shot clock, and it leads into a turnover. Han Young-sung has the rock. Down low to Won, getting her first look on the ball game, and it leads into a dime and a 2-ball for Yaton Tong. Velasquez scoops through and gets the foul. Foul committed by Royan Sun. Both teams with 2 fouls to give the rest of the half. Velasquez gets the first one to drop. Velasquez with 4 points to her name. It's been steady scoring for Mexico out of the last 16 minutes we have played. It is 32-18. The Group B opener between these two teams. Spain and Germany about to get underway. Rumbo returns to the lineup for Mexico. And that pass is circled down to Velasquez. Not time to shoot, but they'll have to take it now. Rumbo from downtown. With a rebound being picked up by Tong. That's on Tong with a board and a bucket in the last minute of play. China still ahead by 14. Here is Lee, takes a crack at it, and it goes. Weak side defense just told it all on the left side for Mexico. Velasquez sprinting through to the other side and gets the rock. She is met immediately by Sun. Velasquez taking everybody, feeds it down up top, and it goes. Upstairs for Ivana Olade, who finally gets a bucket. A lot of pressure near the half-court line. It is broken by Lee. Spin move from Sun, who dumps it down to Juan, who will shoot two. Two free throws coming up after the foul off of Mariana Diaz. Check that. That's going to be on Olade. First free throw for Yayi Wan. And China has been pretty good at their free throws up to this point. They started out 0 for 2, but they have been efficient prior to the line. 0 for 2 this time around, with Marisol Gomez securing it for Mexico. Diaz finds Thomas, who can't connect on the three. Juan gets the rebound. 100 seconds until halftime. China ahead by 14. Here is Sun, exposing the weak side defense from Mexico. Now they're in a 2-3 zone. It's off the mark for Sun. It's going to stay with China. Shenyu Wong will check in and throw it in. A minute and 28 to play. Wong is in for Hanyun Sun, one of the centers. Sun picking up 10 points for China along with Lee. Lee has hit 2 triples, so has Hanyun Sun. They're leading the way for China. Mexico currently being led by Velasquez and Olade, who have 5 each. Olade with the triple off of 2 attempts. Nice fake option, and now Juan gets the drive. She fires, she doesn't score. Foul on China again. They are down to their last one in the quarter. Here's the drive, Velasquez. And she can't get the floater to drop. We're down to a minute here in the second quarter. The pass, the drive, and the finish. It is Shenyu Wong from Royan Sun. Scoring beginning to pick up for China. Mexico staying ice cold in the last little while. Gustav now part of the MVP tier group in the FIBA YouTube membership. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Here's a pull-up triple. Gomez, too strong. Aslan Thomas with the hold to give China the ball back. And China will talk it over with 41.6 seconds to go. We'll take a break. China's up by 16. Taking a look at some of the highlights, which has been led by China. Nice block from Hyun Sun. And then the pull-up J was probably one of the easiest shots Mexico has gotten into this game, but they have been no match to the crisp ball movement and wise shot choices from China. Yaoshang Li making them pay from outside. And then down low, Shenyu Wang finishes the job. Mexico with some pretty good looks. However, they haven't been able to capitalize as much. As again, the FIBA YouTube membership, rookie starter and MVP tier pack, which allows you to have exclusive content, emojis, and much more during the live stream. So be a part of the growing community today. Here's the feed underneath. It leads in for two more. This time Yatsun Tong. She has 4 in the quarter. A difference of 4 seconds between the shot clock and game clock. China approaching 40. Mexico down by 18. It is Thomas and Sun hitting the floor off of the tape. Thomas already in foul trouble with 3. A rough second quarter for Mexico. They were down by as few as 6 at one point, and it looks like a backcourt violation should it go the other way, but it was awfully close. 7.1 seconds to go. Nope, it's going to be a China foul instead. Both teams out of fouls to give. Mexico looking to get on the board before halftime. Here's the drive from Olade, who can't get it through, and that will do it for the first half. Olade having trouble getting right back up, and hopefully she is okay as we send it to a break at halftime. It is 39-21 in favor of China. China outscored Mexico 20-10 in the second quarter, and currently they're being led by Yaoshang Li and Hyun Sun, who has 10 points apiece. Sun with 10 and 6. Mexico currently being led by the duo of Olade and Velasquez, who has 5 apiece. Looking at the difference in rebounds, it is a plus 11 for China, 32-11. Mexico's advantage, well, they have 3 steals, but it's been all China since the opening tip. They are up by 18 as we send it into halftime. I'm Aaron Sanders. We'll be back for the second half in about 15 minutes on the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. But right now, let's send it down to Michael Sorauti, who is calling the action between Spain and Germany. You watch that, and we will send it to a break. Here are some highlights in the first 20 minutes of action between China and Mexico. We'll be back.
side. Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
Chicago attacks the closeout. Feed Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
Attack corner Bobby and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay. Still too many players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
Rebound, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here, Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing
Good to get out of here.
Attack corner pocket. And Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay. Two players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
6 rebounds, 6 assists.
Roberts. You gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here, Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing.
Caitlin Clark gets to the passing lane, goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity.
You ain't never seen nothing like this. You ain't never seen nothing like this.
How many times are we gonna say this?
Baseline. Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
Chicago attacks the closeout. Feeds Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
China is out in front, 39-21 against Mexico, as we welcome you back for the third quarter of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. I'm Aaron Sanders. Mexico will start with the ball, and they had a rough second quarter in which they only scored 10 points and gave up 20 to China. Currently, Jimenez Velasquez has usually been the player that could spur Mexico back into the ball game. She's had a couple of field goals, and the first one of the second half doesn't go for Aislinn Thomas, who's having a rough time in the ball game. She has 3 personal fouls. Here's Velasquez again, right on cue. Sending it down to Valverde, who misses from downtown. And here's Wan Sung, swinging it outside. That doesn't go either. Velasquez picking up another rebound. That is her 4th of the game. She digs deep. It is kicked out to Valverde. Valverde's time in the paint, as she leaves it alone for Gomez, and the air ball is picked up by Sun. Sun now picking up her 7th rebound. 3 more, she'll have a double-double. Shot's no good either. Velasquez getting 2 rebounds to start the third quarter, and both teams in a dry scoring spell to kick things off in the second half. And Valverde breaks the scoring spell as she rings one up from three-point land. Valverde picks up her 5th point and her first triple, make it 39-24. And Sung answers back. Sun picking up her 2nd triple. Thomas gets away. Velasquez needs help. Gets it to Diaz. Diaz sidesteps her way, and she gets the deuce. Regardless, 2 points is 2 points. And Mexico will take anything at this point, as they are behind by 16. Chance to make that 18. Doesn't work out for Pong. And Team Mexico's bench not happy with the call. They thought China touched it last, but it will stay with China with 2 minutes going by in the third. Sun, who hit the last triple, finds Lee and can't cash in this time. Down to 3 of the 24. Shot clock resets, and the miss from Lee will lead into 2 shots. Marcel Gomez committing the foul with 7:34 to go in the third. First free throw up and in for Lee, who now has 11 points. She's gone 4 of 10 in shots. And the second one spirals out, and Gomez is able to save the rebound. Velasquez locating Valverde. Diaz. And now Gomez is wide open and hits. Gomez capitalizing on the 5th made 3 for Mexico. Score is now 43-29 thanks to Gomez's first shot of the game. Here is Pong, met at the basket by Gomez. She is now feeling it after getting her first shot. Velasquez, 94-50, give her 2. She gets her first shot of the third quarter. China with the ball. Lee from long range doesn't hit it, as Gomez lets it fly out of bounds. Velasquez brings it up the floor. She has 7 points along with 6 rebounds. Thomas playing in foul trouble. A lot of trust built into her as we start the second half. Here is Diaz, long two, picked up by Pong. It was Sun that was driving before the foul. Right now there's a discussion among the officials. We played nearly 4 minutes in the second half. China leads 43-31 against Mexico. Both teams embarking on their 5th ever trip to the U17s. And it's now an official review. The initial call is a personal foul on Mariana Diaz. Assuming they're going to check to see whether if it's an unsportsmanlike foul or a common foul. As she did grab the right arm of Xuan Sun. So that brings up a discussion. Another problem, too, is it appeared to be a foul on the way to the basket. So if that's ruled a clear path foul and they get enough evidence as it is, they could upgrade Diaz's foul into an unsportsmanlike foul, which means it would be 2 free throws and the ball for China. The official ruling, it is an unsportsmanlike foul, so Mexico's going to pay for that. China will get 2 shots and the ball back. And Diaz, no doubt about it, grabbed Xuan Sun's right hand on the way to the hole. And the first free throw is no good. China started out rough at the foul line, going 1 for 3. Overall today, they have gone 9 of 16. Second one bounces out. And Sun's definitely feeling it. She is not pleased at her last 2 shots. The ball stays with China with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. They are up by 12. How will Mexico get out of this one? Sun on the teardrop. Doesn't go. It is Diaz on the rebound. Velasquez sprints down to the center. Now it's Valverde taking a 3 way off. And Mexico not doing well from downtown. 4 of 21 now. They're shooting below 20% from that field. Overall, they're shooting 25%. Compare that to China. They are shooting 34% overall, 32% from three-point land. They'll try another one. That one doesn't go. And Diaz closes it out to let it go out. It's been all China since the beginning of the game. Their largest scoring run, a 6-0 run. Largest run for Mexico, 5-0. Velasquez goes over the shoulder for Thomas, who locates an open 3. This time it's Marisol Gomez with the 1, 2, 3. A 9-point game. We approach the halfway mark in the third quarter. This to expand it. No dice there. It looked like it was last touched by Gomez. No, it wasn't. They're saying Yaoshang Li touched it last. Gomez has scored all of her 6 points in the third quarter. He is now 2 of 3 from outside. Velasquez. And now it's Tamez having the ball. Velasquez goes for 3. Splish, splash, cash. 13 for Velasquez. 13. And that warrants a timeout from China as they have seen their double-digit lead disappear back to a 2-score game. That's where Mexico was at the start of the second quarter. Will they have a run? We'll find out after the break. Since the 7:33 mark in the third quarter, it's been an 11-0 run for Mexico. Because of that, they have reduced their deficit to 6. The 11-0 run is the largest, not only for Mexico, but in the game as well. Thanks to Velasquez and Gomez taking care of the scoring here in the third quarter. Here's the dribble drive by Lee. Finger roll off the mark, but it warrants a whistle. Marcel Gomez picks up the foul. That's now Gomez's third. She gets in foul trouble along with Thomas. Yuan-Shen Lee back at the free throw line, and she can't bury the first one. China has missed 3 straight free throws, and that includes the 2 from the unsportsmanlike foul just a few moments ago. The second one bounces out to Mexico, just zeroing in. Opportunity is a knocking for them. Can they respond? And respond fast. Thomas with Velasquez. That 2-man game turns to 3. Now with Diaz. Down low underneath. Fake from Patino and the miss. Here is Lee going all the way. And the officials are going to rule China ball. Ying Fong will pass it in with 3:40 remaining in the third. The officials double checking the shot clock in. On our scoreboard, it shows 17. And that's where they move it up to. So they add an extra 3 seconds on the shot clock. And everything's back in order. Fong to throw it in. Oh, he tried to go behind the back. We rarely see that when you hit it off the back of somebody, but that's a wise move. Jimena Velasquez, unfortunately for Mexico, gets the foul. They thought it was an offensive foul. That is not the case. Goes back to Lee. Lee driving in from the left side, goes off to the right side and gets it in. So that breaks the scoring spell in which China has had for the last 4 minutes. and ends an 11-0 run for Mexico. Ball last touched by Pong. Mexico is outscoring China 16-6 here in the third. First time they've outscored them in the ball game. Here's a pull-up from Valverde, too strong off the top of the iron. Rebound nearly picked up by Thomas, but it's snatched away by Sun. China going on the run and getting back into their game. Yashong Li puts it up and in. And they're using speed and they're using great ball IQ to make this a 10-point game once again. Mexico calls for time with 3:05 to go. If you want to be many of the FIBA YouTube members that have exclusive perks, join us on the FIBA YouTube membership where we have rookie, starter, and MVP tier tax waiting for you. And be part of the growing community. Mexico, they had a red-hot third quarter, but China came crawling back after giving up an 11-0 run. And now China's making them pay off of the double team, which is broken up on the half-court side. Here's the shot underneath for Jordan Martin, who will immediately head to the foul line. We'll get the sound back in just a moment. But in the meantime, Jordan Martin's first free throw is a no-go. Ended up with 4.3 points and rebounds per game in last year's U17 AmeriCup, a tournament in which Mexico won bronze in order to qualify for the U17s. Martin goes 1 for 2. It is 47-38. Mexico has trimmed this lead that China had by as few as 6 at one point. Here's the fake, the drive, no finish this time for Sun. It's pulled back, Fong fires away and misses. Velasquez bursting through, fires, and will shoot 2. Mexico has to focus and focus extremely hard on the free throws as they prepare for only their 6th, or I should say 9th free throw. And that bounces out of there. They're now 6 of 9. My mistake, 5 of 8. So not a lot of trips for them compared to China, where they're 9 for 20. Fong having trouble, gets room thanks to Sun. 1 on the timer, shot goes for Yeon Sun as she rises with the shot clock running out. A shot they desperately needed to give them a little bit of breathing room. Diaz, she has breathing room herself. Can't connect. Pass wide to Pong, and it will. Well, let's see here. Who touched the last? And the way the players are staying around this side, it looks like it will return to China. So China has not only the possession, but they're going to get 2 shots. Just 2 shots now for Ying Feng, who went 1 for 2 in the last trip. Scoring situation right now, China shooting 35, Mexico 27. Second free throw's no good. Velasquez trying to get away from Fong. She gets the double team immediately. And here's a baseball pass straight to Velasquez, who has no choice but to go. Goes for the Euro step. And heads to the line. And Velasquez, first one, easily switches through. 11-point game. Velasquez now with 12 for the day. She leads Mexico in scoring. Yushan Li leads China with 15. Velasquez goes 2 for 2 to make it a 10-point game again. Look at the trap set by Mexico as it's broken up easily thanks to Li getting the rock. She pulls in and gets it as she drains it from about 10. Lead is back to 12 for China. Shot clock approaches 7. Rumbo can't get a shot off. Velasquez goes wide and scores. Velasquez picking up her 15th point. She is tied as the top scorer. Not a big of a difference between the shot and game clock now. Looking about 3 seconds, give or take. Sun has it. Gets the screen from Pong. Down to 3 on the timer. The 3 doesn't go. And it's taken by Martin with 2 to shoot. They're going to have to pull it up, and they won't have time to. So at the end of the third quarter, it is China that's still
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
Attack corner Baki and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay. Still two players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
6 rebounds, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here, Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing.
It's fourth quarter time here in Brno, Czechia. China with a 10-point lead over Mexico as the fourth quarter is set to begin. Mexico outscored China in the third quarter, 22-14, but China bounced back in the final 3 minutes after giving up an 11-0 run midway into the third quarter, which limited their lead to 6. And the ball was last touched by Olade. Olade had a couple of buckets prior to halftime. Right now she has a total of 5. Top scorer right now, Jimena Velasquez and Yoshan Lee. Lee with 17, Velasquez 15 for Mexico. Pass underneath for Pong, doesn't work out in her favor. Nice fake from Fong, swings it out. Sun on the pull-up, doesn't get it. Rebound by Pong as she puts it up in the air, knowing she was going to get contact. 2 free throws are on the way. Ariana Diaz picking up her 3rd foul of the game. This is just day 1 of group play. Day 2 starts tomorrow. And looking at the schedule, China will take on Germany, and Mexico will take on Spain. So Mexico versus Spain, China versus Germany, that's coming up tomorrow. And we have a whistle before the release. A lane violation on Mexico gives China an extra free throw. China, who ended up in 4th place after losing the bronze medal game to Japan in the U16 Asia Cup last year, has held on to the lead right since the start. And Yunshun Pong's extra free throw is good to make it 55-43. Mexico with more than 9 minutes to bounce back to try to shock China in the first Group B game in the tournament. We have some action away from the ball, which gives the ball back up to China with 47 seconds going by in the 4th. Been a rough go for Mexico, who picked up their 20th personal foul of the ball game. China have been playing exceptionally well with only 10 total personal fouls, and the ball movement continues to shine with Pong getting underneath. Thomas out on the fake. Velasquez takes it to the cup herself and finds Olade for the jumper. Olade has scored all of her points here in the second half. With Mexico still playing catch-up with 8 minutes and counting. Sun spins and has trouble off of the double team. It appeared that Rumbo got caught up. Yep, she got tangled up. It was Sun and Rumbo. Juan Lopez, the head coach from Mexico, is pleading his case. It doesn't look like he's going to win. Pass goes out to Lee. Lee with 6 to shoot. And the Rainmaker doesn't go. Velasquez sending it down low to Thomas, who's been having a rough time in the scoring department since the start of the game. Sun leaves it alone. 3 ball goes for Lee. And that gets another timeout for Mexico. Lee picking up her 20th point. She has been incredible today. Now 8 of 19 from the field. It is 60-45. It's been a rampage for China to start the fourth quarter as they outscore Mexico 7-2 after giving up 22 points in the third quarter. China has 24 points inside the paint, Mexico with only 14. And Mexico is shooting under 30% in the field goal range in Group B competition. And the sense of urgency to score is at an all-time high. They have 3 to shoot. The pressure is on. And here is Rumbo, who uses too much time. And those turnovers are costly when you're down by 15. And Rumbo heads to the bench. Mariana Diaz comes in at her place. Diaz currently with 3 fouls, 4 points, 4 rebounds. A rough night scoring-wise for Mexico, and the fouls continue to pile up. That is the 22nd foul in total for Mexico today. Here's a feed and spin underneath. It doesn't go down. Tong unable to hit either. Velasquez still on the floor as she charges through. Diaz sends the rock over to Thomas, who gets fouled easily and will shoot a pair. Xinyu Wang committing the foul. It was Thomas that escaped Pong, one of the 4 centers on China's roster. And you're not given a lot of room when you're driving baseline left to begin with. But Thomas found a way out, which sends her to the line, and she gets the first one to drop easily. Second one spirals out, which leads the rebound to Yaton Tong. Sun off to Lee. Lee immediately met by Gomez, and she takes her on and scores. She got the right-hander to go to make it 62-46. China waking up after giving up their largest scoring run of the game in the third quarter. Valverde can't get it. China looking for their largest lead of the contest, and Lee can't give it to them. Wu tries, and that's off. Four minutes have gone by in the fourth quarter in a game which has been all China, but Mexico, they have gone on to some scoring spurts to keep them close. They need one right away. Velasquez has been leading the charge. And she gets her own rebound. Velasquez scoops it over, and it's missed by Thomas. Sun has the double team right up on her. Lee didn't need the Tong screen as she retreated to the right side. as Velasquez, her 4th personal foul. One more and she is done. Two more shots on the way for Yashang Lee. As the first one is good, she now has 23, leading all scorers. 2 of 5 at the line. 43% overall. And she goes 2 for 2. Strong game from Lee, no question about it. Velasquez gets bumped a little bit. Takes a look, finds Diaz open for 3. With Lee getting another board. Lee now has 5, and it's underneath for Yu Jia. Jia getting on the scoreboard after amassing 3 rebounds. This is the largest lead for China, as we're beyond the halfway mark in the 4th. It's last touched by China. Wonjae Wu, who just checked on the screen, 2 points and 3 rebounds for the day. It's a plus 19 performance for Yantan Tong after 6 rebounds and 4 points. It goes to Thomas and gets the whistle with 4.1 showing on the shot clock. The name of the game at this point is attracting the defense every time you go for a layup. And Mexico needs to buckle down and get their free throws down and get their shots. That's now their 5th miss at the line. They've shot 13, only made 8. This is 14, and they got it. 9 of 14 now. The rebound game taken over by China, 56 to 37. Here's a shot underneath, too strong off the glass, and somehow, some way, Sung gets it again. This time it's Jia taking the 3, and it splashes through. It is a 22-point lead, with one of the floor crew fixing the netting. While they take care of the net, Mexico makes its changes with Isamar Rumbo checking in for Thomas. Rumbo with 2 fouls, but she's had a rough game. Only 3 points to her name. On a ball movement to escape the 2-3 zone for China. However, Mexico was not lucky on that trip. After this game, we invite you to head on over to the matchup between Spain and Germany, and it looks like they just started the 3rd quarter and Spain is up by 13. Here's the pull-up. Jia got it. And Juan Lopez has no other option but to call timeout, as this game is getting out of the clutches of Mexico. At one point they were down by 5, but China appear to wake up here in the 4th quarter. They are outscoring Mexico 19-4 after giving up 22 in the 3rd. This is the second ever meeting between China and Mexico. Their first time out was at the U17s 10 years ago, also in group play, in which China dominated with a final score of 82-43. Right now, they're taking care of business against Mexico 72-47, limiting Mexico to only 4 points in this fourth and final stanza. Rumbo and Velasquez remains in the lineup for Mexico. They are joined by Gomez. And the woes continue for Mexico by way of an offensive foul. The offensive foul was committed by Marisol Gomez, who now has 4. She and Diaz are down to their last foul. Velasquez, meanwhile, picking up 15 points, leading all scorers for Team Mexico. Ugia spins away, doesn't hit. China using one of their fouls to give. They're down to 1 now. Off the shove. That's Hung Young's son. Velasquez blitzing through out of the half court. With the run, Valverde spots up. Haven't heard much of her since the start of the second half. Velasquez getting away off the Valverde screen, goes for the finger roll, and it's no good. Here's the lead pass ahead to Gia, who leaves it alone for Sun. Han Yun's son getting it done on the other end. China 240 away from opening up group play with a commanding victory. Diaz gets close and gets it back to Rumbo. Rumbo has no choice but to let it fly, and it's going to sail out of bounds. Great coverage up top from China with the shot clock running low. Now Yaji Wong will get some minutes. Wong playing 5 minutes and 16 seconds prior to her return. Fong, nice look underneath. Tong and Wong on the fake. With Olade poking it out. Next time I will speak to you all will be on Tuesday for the group closer between Canada and New Zealand. Both teams picking up victories in their group openers earlier today. Canada being led by Avery Arije as they get the victory over Italy. New Zealand getting the dub too. Velasquez has been the saving grace for Mexico. The problem is they haven't been able to respond immediately, and that layup doesn't go. Wong has a chance, and she scores off the glass. Both teams out of fouls to give with the final 2 minutes of regulation. So China won their only meeting against Mexico by 39 in the 2016 installment of the U17s. They currently lead by 25. Yiying Fong is out of the lineup. So that will pretty much do it for her. Only 2 rebounds and 2 points for Fong. With China who came into this tournament 18th in the world, putting on a masterclass in the fourth. The shot bounces in for Yania Valverde. She turned 17 on Monday, and tonight she's picked up a total of 7 rebounds with 2 points. Long on the crossover dribble and splits through everybody. She says checkmate as this game comes to a close. Isabella Martinez now getting some minutes. Mexico digging deep into their bench with Velasquez still in there. She tries a 3. That's too strong. Bullet pass straight away to Royan Soon, who misfires on the layup. Velasquez looks to make them pay, but she was met at the hole by Yaji Wang. And away China plays defense back on the other end. They're going to cause a lot of issues in Group B play as they take on Germany tomorrow and then Spain on Tuesday, with 4 centers in the lineup. 4 centers, 2 power forwards. And they had 2 centers at the starting 5 today, which was Han Yun Sung and Young Chu Pong. And that turned out to be a huge play for China. Here's the lob underneath. That is no good. So 2 more free throws will more or less wrap things up. But right now, Ivana Olade will get a pair. Between Sun and Pong, the 2 centers that started out for China, they scored 23 points. But of course, the game ball is going to go to Yashang Lee, who has 24. And it looks like they're going to decide whether if it's an unsportsmanlike foul. We've seen that earlier when Mariana Diaz committed the unsportsmanlike foul. That was in the second. So the officials will go behind the scores table and have a look-see. And we'll all have a look ourselves. First off, Mexico, they didn't give up on the play. So they got the steal. And look at that, 2-on-1 opportunity. So the question is, did Sun use too much aggression? Because from this angle, it looked like her forearm went up. And got Olade in the head. Perhaps we'll get a look from underneath the basket, but that's what they're looking at right now. And with the official not underneath the basket, but instead following the trailer right in front of the scores table, it's hard to tell. So you're not missing a thing. They're just checking to see if it's an unsportsmanlike foul, and the decision, just a common foul. But it will be 2 shots for Mexico regardless. So a personal foul on Royan Sun. Doesn't need explaining, but both teams out of fouls to give. The first free throw dropping in for Olade. So it'll be Mexico versus Spain tomorrow. China versus Germany. And after this one, we'll send you to Germany versus Spain with Michael Cerrone on the play-by-play on the FIBA YouTube channel. Second ever meeting between Mexico and China. It's been 10 years since they first met, which was a dominating effort from China when they won by 39. And that shot gives them a 29-point lead with seconds to go. All China in this one to open up group play as they take down Mexico with the final score of 80-51. Yushan Li led the way with 24 points. Two players in double-double figures for China. Ayun Sung with 12 and 11. Yunshu Pang with 14 boards and 11 points. Mexico led the whole way by Jimenez Velasquez with 15 points and 8 rebounds. It just wasn't a good night in terms of shooting for Mexico. They end up shooting 25% from the field, 69% at the foul line. But it was all China, close to 40% in shooting and 54% at the foul line. And look at this, 62 rebounds for China, a difference of 22 in that department. But then again, China started their two centers out of a possible 4, and they dominated, scoring close to 25 points combined. We will turn things over to Spain and Germany, in which Spain is leading 46-27 in the third quarter. Michael Cerrone has the call, and we invite you to head on over to that link on the FIBA YouTube channel. With a final score here, China 80, Mexico 51, and that wraps up coverage from this floor from Brno, Czechia. We invite you to continue to watch our coverage in day 2, which gets underway tomorrow. But now Spain and Germany will have the honors of being the last game to be played in day 1, what has been a great competition. A lot of thrills, a lot of steals, record breakers, and you can check out all the news and the highlights on the FIBA official website. Thank you, everybody, for those of you who helped us along the way behind the scenes, and for those of you tuned in to around the world. We always enjoy the pleasure of your company. I'll be back for the call between Canada and New Zealand on Tuesday. But enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and remember, there are plenty of good sports out there, so you be one too. Now for the great folks behind the broadcast in FIBA, for Coco and Ollie out in Kingsville, and to all of you, thanks for joining us. This be Aaron Sanders saying you've been watching coverage of Day 1 of the 2026 FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Until Tuesday, it's so long for now.